and welcome to episode, I think it's 10 of Vlogmas. I'm just uploading episode 9 at the moment, I think, which is what I finished recording yesterday. I've actually recorded a long thing and it's just me waffling on, so I'm going to re-record it because I was waffling on too much and it's too long. Anyway, my name is Anniken. Welcome to Vlogmas. I live in the southwest of England where it is still very, very cold. I think it's warming up a bit. It's supposed to be much warmer by Sunday, but it's also supposed to rain on Sunday, I think, so that's not good. But yeah, it has been painfully cold this week, and trying to get the house up to anything approaching a reasonable temperature has been a real struggle. But welcome. I'm not going to spend the whole video complaining about the cold. I keep having people say to me, oh, you must be used to this because I'm from Norway. And yes, I am. But I've lived here 13 years longer than I lived in Norway. And Norway houses are warm. So yes, I'm used to cold weather, but houses, I'm also used to warm houses, which is what I've been telling people all week. Anyway, I'm going to share my new design which I've just released. I'm going to share my advent calendars. I'm going to share some purchases I got yesterday, which are knitting related, and yeah, that's it. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to my new newsletter. The link is below. If you were subscribed to the old newsletter, hopefully I managed to migrate everyone over okay. And everything I talk about will be below this video. So do check the show notes, I guess they are below this video. Let's talk about this new design first. This is the Snowflakes cow, and I will put it on quickly. I had to wrestle it off my husband the other day when we took photos of it. After he'd photographed me wearing it, I asked him to put it on. We did a couple of photos of him wearing it, so he does feature on the pattern, probably against his will, but that's fine. And then he wore it when he went out with the dog on Monday, and when he came home I said to him, can you be careful with that because I may need it for workshops and things. So he said, oh, you better have it back because I'm worried I'm going to ruin it, so I may have to knit him another one at some point, but I haven't got time at the moment. But yes, quite a big cow. You can fold it over, or if you want to, because it has 3 pattern repeats, so you could do just 2 pattern repeats, which means that it would be that much shorter. It is double-sided. It is not double knitting. It is stranded color work. Double knitting is when you knit both sides of the fabric at the same time and you get the right side out on both sides. I've never done it. It looks complicated. I'm sure it's not as bad as it looks, but I've never done it. So on one side it looks like that, and then if I flip it inside out, it looks like that. I use 2 skeins of West Yorkshire Spinners Exquisite 4-ply, which is it's either Blueface Leicester silk or it's Merino silk. I think it's Blueface Leicester silk. I'm not 100% sure. Gorgeous yarn, knits up really nicely, really even stitch definition. I absolutely love it. I prefer that way out. So I use 100-gram skein of each. So you can see if you wanted to make it slightly shorter, you could just cut off 1 pattern repeat and it would be like that. So you start with a provisional cast on. You don't have to use a provisional cast on if you don't want to. You can just use a regular cast on and then cast off at the end and seam the edges, but I started with a provisional cast on, then I knitted all the way down this side, and then I did a picot edge on that side, then I knitted all this side. Then when I got back up here to the picot edge, I grafted it before the picot edge, so it's grafted. The pattern includes a link to my favorite provisional cast on, which is the invisible cast on, and also to the my grafting tutorial. So those links are in the pattern. They're also linked on the pattern page, and the pattern is available from both Ravelry and Payhip, and I'll put all the links below this video. And I do currently have 30% off patterns until the 20th of December, so only a few more days. So if you fancy a new pattern for Christmas, go and get it. Okay, let's do advent calendars. So let's do the Orchidean Luxury yarns first. I did already open it and I filmed it, and I put the stitch marker in my little stitch marker bowl, so I can't remember which one it was today. I think it was that one. I think we've had the same one Yeah, it's the same as another day, so I think it's the same one. That was yesterday's. This is today. So there is a difference. Today's is a little bit darker, but it's not a massive difference. It's a little bit darker than yesterday's. And then there is a little sample of essential oils called Holiday Joy. Just a tiny little sample in there. I already use the same brand of essential oils, as you can see behind me, from doTERRA. So, and I have a couple of bottles of Holiday Joy. It really smells like Christmas in a bottle, so I'll pop that in my diffuser behind me. And when I've done that, I will actually wash that and keep this little bottle, because it's got a little dropper thing, and it's quite useful for when I'm traveling and I just want to take a tiny amount of oil with me. So I'm going to keep that bottle, definitely. So that's the Orchidean Luxury yarn. So let me just pop this back inside a little bag. We've had blue for a few days now, so I don't know how many more blue days we have left, or whether we'll start moving into something else soon. And then botanical yarns, we're on like a burgundy. That was yesterday, and that is today, so slightly lighter. So we have 2 more days of this kind of colour fade, if you like, to go before we start the final colour fade. So it's like 4 colour fades. They go from like a really saturated to a very light colour. So that's the advent calendars. And then yesterday I was in Plymouth and I popped into a haberdashery shop, which I walked past a few times, but I've actually been in there before. They do sell a tiny bit of yarn. It's mostly Serdar, I think. I had a quick look at it, but nothing took my fancy. But they sell a lot of fabric. I mainly went in there because I needed some buttons and some ribbons. So I'm working on a steeked cardigan for a magazine. It'll be out in the spring. So I can't share any details. I shared a little bit of a sneak peek in the last Vlogtober video, which is uploading to YouTube as I speak. But I wanted some ribbon to cover the cut edge. I got this ribbon. I don't know whether that's going to be suitable because it's very wintry and it's like a summery design or like a spring design. This was in their like Christmas section, but it's just like Christmas jumper, really, isn't it? But I bought 2 meters of that because I really liked it and I thought I might use it for another cardigan. And then I really struggled to find something that was suitable for this cardigan, so I got this. A lot of their ribbons were like very shiny and slippery, and I don't want that. This is not, it's a little bit slippery, but not too bad. But it's the right colours. But I don't know if I like it, so I'll see whether I decide to use it or not. Then I got some buttons. I got these buttons for this design, so I got 8 of those. I used to always, every time I went to a show, I would stop by the Textile Garden stall, and I think their website is textilegarden.co.uk or thetextilegarden.co.uk. If you Google Textile Garden, you'll find them. But I haven't seen them at any shows since COVID, or since shows started again after COVID. So I don't know whether they're still doing shows, but I noticed the last couple of times I looked for buttons in my button stash, I really struggled to find any, or I don't have enough left. So I bought some buttons. So these are for this particular cardigan, and then they also had the same buttons in a different colour. So I would have bought 3 packs of those, but they only had 2, so I bought those because I like to keep some buttons in my button stash. I don't know. I've also been looking at these. I said at the beginning of Vlogmas that I was going to embroider these this year. I have some mittens, and I found them yesterday. And they were on my desk, and now they disappeared again. Oh, why is the lighting so weird in here? It's always a problem when it's sunny. It's nice that it's sunny because it makes this room a little bit warmer. So I might see if I can get around to starting on this today. If I can find a needle that's small enough to go through these holes. But yeah, I found my mittens. It's 2 wooden mittens, and now they've gone again. So I probably just knocked them off somewhere. So I'm going to have a look for that. But you might see me embroidering these later. You might see me do some knitting. You might see me do some crochet. You might see me walk the dog. I don't know. Tomorrow I'm teaching at the Knitting Hotel. My voice is going. I've had a bit of a cold all week, not too bad. I'm going to take a COVID test later just to make sure it's not COVID, but I don't think it is. But my voice is going. So I just hope I'll be okay to talk tomorrow. I'm feeling better. My cold has got a lot better, but it's just on my voice now. But I've packed all my stuff ready for tomorrow. It's the same workshop I taught last week, but last week we had 2 days. Today we're doing it over 1 day, different group of people. So yeah, that'll be fun. I might see if I can film a little bit tomorrow. It's difficult because some people don't want to be filmed. So I might see if I can get a little bit of footage. But I'm really looking forward to it. It's my last workshop of the year, and my next workshop is actually also at the Knitting Hotel in January, and that's their 100th workshop, 100th retreat weekend, which is really exciting. So yeah, oh, one more thing I need to tell you. The Fiber Chats YouTube channel, I don't know whether you're familiar with it, but I was interviewed by Irina of the Fiber Chats YouTube channel. I think it's about a year ago. I think it was out beginning of this year. And she's interviewed me again. She's doing a series on how to become a better knitter, and it's kind of like a little bit of a philosophical kind of chat, if you like. First episode featured people like Romy Hill, Hazel Tyndall from Shetland, and an American tutor who I'd heard of but wasn't too familiar with, and I've forgotten her name, and I can't remember who this episode features. Let me just have a quick look. I should have written it down. So it features, let me see if I can find it. Dario Tubiana. He's Italian, I think. Sorry about the light, goes funny. Shayna Billow, don't know if I'm saying that correctly. Charles Gandy, and me. So we're featured in the latest video. I'll pop the link below. Do go and look at it if you're interested. It was a fun chat with Irina, and thank you to Irina for interviewing me again. So do go and have a look at that if you want to. I'll pop the link below. Good morning. It is the 17th of December, and my voice is a bit croaky. So I was supposed to be teaching today, and I got up nice and early, got ready to go, walked outside, thought, oh, it's raining. That's unusual because it's been very cold and icy all week, and I didn't notice it was still not completely light, and I didn't notice that the road was basically just a sheet of black ice. So I got into my car, I reversed off the road. Since I got onto the road, my car just slid sideways down the hill, because we live on the hill, and into a parked car, which then got pushed into another parked car. I'm okay. The cars are not, our car is not too bad, I don't think. The other cars are not okay. Our neighbours were lovely about it. Everyone in the street were lovely about it. We have amazing neighbours here. And we left it to defrost for a couple of hours, and then some of our neighbours came out and helped us scrape the ice off the road, or helped Simon scrape the ice off the road, and we managed to move the car off the road, because I was actually sideways in the middle of the road, blocking the road so nobody could get past. Not that it was safe enough to drive down the road anyway. So I couldn't get to my workshop. There's also been a big, quite serious accident, I think, on the main road near us, so I would have struggled to get out this morning anyway, and also a bit further up towards where I was going. So Probably a good thing I didn't get off our road, but obviously I have caused a big hassle for everyone, and yeah, I was quite upset this morning. Not happy. I'm okay, I'm not injured. It was just very slow slide sideways down the road. If I hadn't hit those cars, it could have been quite serious, because I think the car would have picked up speed and I wouldn't be able to stop. I had both my foot brake and my handbrake on. I was trying to see if I could steer the car off the road onto the grass, but nothing. It was just sliding down. There was nothing I can do. So I thought I would come upstairs and do the advent calendar. So on the Orchidean Luxury Yarn, we're on the blue streak. So the last 3 days have been a blue, 4 days have been a blue progression. Really liking these blues, they're absolutely gorgeous. And today is another blue. So today is another blue. It's, I think, I'm wondering whether we're going in a slightly purple direction, because this looks like it's just got a little bit more purple in it compared to yesterday. I can just see like a hint of purple variation in it a little bit. So that's exciting. I would like to finish with some purple, that'd be nice. And then the stitch marker, oops, nearly dropped on the floor. Stitch marker is the same, I think it's the same as yesterday. Very, very pretty stitch markers. I'm going to pop that in my bowl with all my other stitch markers in, so I don't lose them. So that was Orchidean Luxury Yarns. And let's have a look at botanical yarns. I hadn't actually opened these. I was gonna, first I was thinking I would do it before I left this morning, but because it was dark and everything, I thought I would wait and do it tomorrow. So at least I could do it now. So in the same kind of fade as yesterday was the word I was looking for, just a bit lighter. So we got one more day to go in this fade, and then we are changing colors, I guess. So let me show you. Oops, a couple of the doors are slightly open because when I picked it up when I first got it, I pushed into it. So that one, which is Monday, so you can see the top row is all purple, purple teal. Second row is all purple. Third row, so we got one more here, and then we got whatever the bottom row is. Yeah, so that'll be exciting. Still haven't decided what I'm going to do with it, but I'm thinking about it. So I'm going to go and do some knitting. It is the 18th of December and it's actually evening. It's about, what's the time? 6 o'clock in the evening. We've just finished decorating the Christmas tree. I hope we would have done it yesterday after my plans for teaching yesterday went a bit haywire. Feel really guilty that I missed my workshop yesterday. I was due to teach at the knitting hotel, so I left Belinda, the lovely owner, a bit in the lurch because I think her assistant had problems getting there as well because of the ice. So I do feel really bad about it, but even if I hadn't crashed a car, I wouldn't have been able to actually get off our road because it's very, very icy. I've hurt my back quite badly, so my back's not been good all week, but it wasn't too bad, and it was getting better. And then yesterday morning when I woke up, it was a bit worse. I think I slept funny, and then when I crashed a car, or the car slid into my neighbour's cars, I had to climb over the handbrake and gear stick and stuff to get out of the car. I had to get out the passenger side because my door was pushed up against my neighbour's car, so I couldn't get out. So I had to climb over to get out, and I think I must have twisted or done something funny to my back, and I got really severe back pain in my lower right side. Normally, if I get problems, it's the left side. Feels like, I guess, a little bit like severe sciatica, but I'm not sure because it goes into my leg and my leg feels like it's going to give way and I'm limping quite heavily. I did get my crutch out. I have crutches from when I broke my leg in Norway, or I broke my foot in Norway on the first day of our holiday on Christmas Eve, over 20 years ago now. I broke my foot on Christmas Eve. I won't tell the story now, but I ended up spending once we finished the celebrations of Christmas Eve, I realised that I was in a huge amount of pain with my foot, and it was fine when I was sitting still, but once I tried to walk on it, I just couldn't walk on it. So we had to go to A&E at, I think we called for a taxi about 10, 11 o'clock at night, and we probably had to wait an hour for a taxi because Christmas Eve is when people celebrate in Norway, so that's when taxi companies are really busy, and I was the only one who hadn't been drinking, and obviously I couldn't drive because I was in too much pain, and I'd broken my foot, and they gave me crutches, and they said I should bring them back, so I paid a deposit for them, and I said, well, I live in England, shall I bring them back next time I come? But I don't know when that's going to be. It could be 2 years. And they said, don't worry about it, just keep them. You don't get your deposit back, which was fine. So I kept them, and a couple of times Simon just wanted to throw them away, but every few years they do come in useful if any of us injure something. So I got someone to get one out for me because I do find it a little bit easier to walk around. Just give me a little bit of support and slightly less pain. But yeah, I'm in a huge amount of pain today. So I hope it gets better. Okay, let's do the advent calendars. So it's the last day of the fade for the botanical yarns. So it's gone, the last 6 days, it's gone from that gradually getting lighter to this. I like this is pretty. So that's botanical yarn. So tomorrow it starts the last 6-day kind of fade. So I'll be interested to see what that's like. And then that was yesterday for Orchidean Luxury Yarn. It's still blue, but it had a bit of purple in it. There's tiny hints of purple in it. So let's see what today is. I guess would be there's going to be more. Oh, I like this. This is pretty. Okay, let's get the stitch marker out. Okay, so stitch marker is the same type as yesterday. Some slightly different stones than yesterday. So we'll pop that in the little pot. And that's the yarn. Oh, I love that colour. That's so pretty. It's like a bluey, purpley colour. So it's slightly more purple. Oh yeah, quite a bit more purple than yesterday. So yeah, I'm really excited because I assume we're now going in a purple direction. So that'll be good. I like that. So let's pop these back in their bag so I can keep them in the correct order for when I finally decide what I'm going to do with this advent. So that's cheered me up a bit because I've been feeling a bit sorry for myself today and a bit fed up. And yeah, not doing great. Let me talk about my knitting. So I have mostly been working on the deadline project, which has all been like finishing stuff and quite frustrating finishing stuff, and I should have finished it. I should have taken advantage of the fact that I wasn't teaching yesterday and finished it, but I didn't. In fact, I didn't do a lot of knitting yesterday till the evening. Then I was watching Strictly Come Dancing final, so I couldn't really do work on this deadline project because it required a bit of concentration. So I worked on my cowl, my baby's cowl. I started the next section of the chart, this knitted, I don't know, 10 rows, 8 rows, rounds, and I have like 200 stitches on each, 240 stitches on each round, because when you do one round, you're doing one round that direction and one round in that direction, so you're basically doing 2 rounds when you do one round. That makes sense. And I wasn't happy with it, so I unpicked it, and then I looked at my chart and I just like crossed out the section I wouldn't be knitting, and I started again. And then I realized this morning that I'd started on the wrong section, so I had to take it out again. So yeah, first I actually decided I wanted a couple of plain rounds where I changed stitch patterns. So I unpicked it this morning, added the plain rounds, started the next section again, then realized when I came upstairs this morning to like edit the chart, change it, take out all the section I wouldn't be knitting, I realized that I was knitting the wrong section. I was knitting on the section I'd be taking out. So I had to unpick again. So I've done more unpicking in the last 2 days, and I've actually done knitting on this. I've basically unpicked everything I knitted in the last 2 days. So that's a bit frustrating, but once I finish this deadline project, I can crack on with this. It is a Christmas present for somebody, but it's not somebody I will see till January, so I can finish this in January. I am going to film a little bit on this tomorrow, because when I was unpicking it, where is it there, I noticed I had a dropped stitch. So I just put one of these padlock stitch markers in it. It actually unraveled a couple of stitches further, a couple of rows further down. So I put a padlock stitch marker in it. Then I picked it up, and there's a decrease there. And I think when I did that decrease, I must have dropped one of the stitches in that decrease. So I didn't drop it when I was unpicking. I must have dropped it earlier, and it just hadn't unraveled that far. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take it right up into that decrease and then just secure it. So I will actually film, I'll try and do it tomorrow, film how I do that, but for the time being it's on a little marker, just so I don't lose it. So I don't think I'll be working on this tonight. Some of the stuff I got to do with this deadline project I wanted to film, but I can't film it now because it's too late. So I'm going to do all the stuff I can do without filming, and then do the last bit tomorrow morning, first thing after my workout and after I get ready. I can, even though my back's really bad, I can still use my stationary exercise bike. I actually did cycle for 20 minutes this morning. I was feeling quite tired, so I only did 20 minutes, but I'm going to try and do half an hour this tomorrow morning. And then afterwards I did some weights for my arms and legs, and that was fine. And then I got on the floor and I tried to do some Pilates exercises and some stretches that I do every day, and that was a struggle. So I did a couple, but not too many. I am going to try and walk Alfie tomorrow. I didn't take him out today. Simon's not actually taking him out yet, so he's got to take him out because it's been raining all day, and I thought I'd probably have to sit down quite regularly. So I'm hoping it'll be drier tomorrow and I can take him out up to the park, because there's loads of benches up there. Even if I just walk around the park 2 or 3 times, at least I can sit down regularly, because I think my back is better when I'm moving, but I need to be able to sit down regularly as well. So when we were decorating the tree, you will notice that I keep sitting down to pick up decorations from the box, and that was just to give my back a bit of a rest. But if I sit down for too long, then I completely seize up and I can't move. Okay, I've talked for 8 minutes, nearly 9 minutes, so that's enough. This video's been, this Vlogmas episode, been a lot of me talking. It's been a bit of a yucky weekend, really. I haven't enjoyed it. Everyone's gone a bit haywire. Had some bad news, not like life and death bad news, but just some change to Christmas plans, which I'm a bit upset about. So yeah, and then my workshop cancelled yesterday. Just not been feeling too great, and my throat is getting better. I can talk better today, I think. So yeah, I'm not very happy, but hopefully tomorrow will be better, and I will see you in the next video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing, and hopefully I will be a bit more cheerful next time I talk to you. Thank you for watching.